What's up guys, this is Sapphire and I'm bringing you game 2 of this best of 3 from the PSI Storm finals. This is the round 3 game between Adro, spawning as the light blue Zerg, and his opponent is none other than RedArchon, the red Terran, appropriately, and he actually is the winner of the Southeast Asia Blizzcon tournament. Along with Ice, he will be on his way to Blizzcon, care of Blizzard, as well as getting $3,000 US for winning that tournament. So, really good game in in the first game there. RedArchon was just too strong in the late game. I feel that Adro had him for quite some time, especially with that absolute annihilation usage of Baneling drops was really successful. And I feel that Adro had a window to win that game, so I'm really curious to find out if Adro will be a little bit more aggressive this time around. This is Scrap Station, which in my opinion is the Zerg home ground. It's so easy to scout. You can get overlords at the start right to their base before the barracks can be any kind of threat, and then you can position overlords all around their base to know exactly when they're expanding, and you can know exactly where the drops are coming. So must be a little bit more comfortable for Adro on this map. Blistering Sands, I just feel that he was ahead for so long and then he just let RedArchon get back into the game. So RedArchon though, really effective usage of his Hellion opening into Banshees, which he used against Ice in the finals of the grand finals of the BlizzCon tournament so effectively. He was just microing those Hellions so well, and this is prior to 1.1.2, so there's no additional range on roaches to stop those Hellions. He also has the option of Reaper openings. They're a little bit less common, a little bit less effective on Scrap Station, although you do often see Terran players like to get one Reaper out just for scouting purposes. They can jump up this cliff here and be a little bit annoying to the expansion. Seeing another aggressive opening from Adro, expanding really fast. Just wants to get that advantage, and this was back before it was safe. This is back when Reapers don't require factories for their Nitro Pack upgrade. So it's a little bit risky to open like this, and I'm curious as to find out how RedArchon's going to react. He's got Marines rallied into Adro's base, so he's already reacting to what he sees right now, sending Marines across. Not sure how successful it's going to be. Got to be a little bit careful that a critical mass of Zerglings doesn't develop and are sent on their way to RedArchon's base, especially with no wall in whatsoever. RedArchon just wants to be aggressive, constantly pumping those Marines, constantly sending them, pulling quite a surplus of gas right now. So I'd expect to see this Marine rush to slow down right a bit, and an actual factory go down, but he loves these bunkers. It's been positioned right outside of Adro's range. He's got to be really careful in this situation, because only now does he see this bunker. He really needed to put an overlord there so that he can actually pick up the sight range on that bunker that was going down. So RedArchon's got a bunker off for free once again, and it's just a case of how Adro's going to deal with it. Second bunker coming down as we're seeing these Zerglings trying to stop this Marine getting to the bunker, which they will not. So much damage going to be absorbed by the hatchery right now. This is a nice choice though by Adro. He realizes he cannot actually, for the moment, take these bunkers down. So he's just trying to intercept any Marines trying to make their way to these bunkers. Now the Queen will absorb the damage from bunkers really nicely, especially if you can take out those SCVs. Looking like it's going to bring down the second Queen to sandwich these bunkers. I like the little transfer of those Marines. Now if you don't know about the abilities of transfers, you see Morrow's thread, but now we are seeing the Zerglings closing in on these bunkers. First bunker taking so much damage. This point kind of uselessly attacking the empty bunker, finally taking out the SCV, but there's just so much damage, so many Marines, and this second bunker is going to be salvaged, but it's just going to absorb so much damage. And that was a really good reaction there by Adro, but it's forced him to cut quite a lot of worker production, producing a lot of Zerglings a little bit earlier than he would want. I would expect these to be going on their way to the main, which it looks like they will, and it's wide open, despite for the fact he's throwing down this bunker. Now Scrap Station is a very long map. He has a long way to run, especially without Zergling speed. So that bunker's going to have quite an opportunity to get down. It's just going to be a case of whether he comes in and goes directly for that SCV. Good positioning of that Marauder and these forward Marines just to slow them down a little bit. Looking like he was planning to use the Marines to slow down the Zerglings, and as they came for the Marines, then he would run for the bunker. So really nice forethought there by RedArchon, who's now pulled his units back, and these Zerglings really aren't going to be able to do too much. A run by would cost them a lot, and he realizes it. Smart move there by Adro. Looking like he changed his mind and is going to go for the run by. Going to go for the worker line. If he's going to do this, he probably should try and take out the mule. Losing a lot. Just going to scout with these Zerglings. Sees the factory. Will he see the Hellion pop out? But he doesn't see a reactor or a tech lab, so he knows that at least one Hellion's on the way. But one Hellion is a lot less scarier than 4. And we have seen RedArchon open reactor Hellions and getting 4 Hellions before he attacks, and then basically just using that as a distraction on this map to get Banshees out. Now, if you can catch your opponent unawares, that can do so much damage. But his opening has not really been successful for RedArchon this game. Yeah, he's cleaning up these Zerglings, and he did force Adro to cut quite a lot of workers, but Adro has that Spire going down. It's about 50% right now, so unless he can do some real damage with this Marine Marauder push, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Zerglings coming to try and close the door on it. Decent micro from RedArchon trying to pull back, but these Zerglings do so much damage. Now they're just going to completely ignore the Marine Marauders that they know they can't do any more damage for, and RedArchon is being pulled back. Do not like this reaction from RedArchon. They should let his reinforcements take care of it, but looking like he's going to bring his entire main army back to deal with it. And it's really just 4 Zerglings doing a run by right now. And despite the fact his main army's going to clean it up, there was a nice little window of opportunity before all these Zerglings and Spine Claws were in position there. He could have done some nice damage, but that seems to have closed. And despite the fact he is now getting super delayed reactor Hellions, finally getting a starport, it's just that Adro's in a really comfortable position. Good saturation in his main, starting to get mining at his natural despite that bunker rush, and he's got to be feeling a lot more comfortable. Spire is down, Mutalisk being produced, spending excess minerals here on Zerglings, which he has quite a lot of, and I would even expect a Baneling Nest if RedArchon sticks to this mass Marine Marauder. So right now, good situation here for Adro, and I'm not sure if RedArchon's going to be able to keep up with it. We are seeing the Zerglings coming forward. They're out of range of their Mutalisk buddies. Got to be a bit careful that they don't get too much damage from that Hellion. Now we're seeing these last couple of Marines being picked off by the Mutalisk. This is a really dangerous situation for these Marauders. No anti-air. Seeing the Hellion slip by, trying to make their way into the main, but here comes the Zerglings to try and get the surround. Mutas still working on RedArchon's Marauders. They're losing a lot of Marauders. Hellions get cleaned up after doing practically nothing. And now we are seeing these Mutalisk working on the expansion, just trying to pick off stray SCVs, keep RedArchon very, very defensive. RedArchon even pulling his command center back now. That's how defensive he is. And after such really great Muta harasses last game, I'm not surprised. Adro choosing to stay in and just take the Marines out. Really nice there. Got to be careful. There's reactor Marines being produced. Trying to work on the starport. Curious that he's continuing with the medevac team. Possibly thought about Vikings in this situation, especially with 4 Mutalisks just hanging out in your base, free to work on anything. Should really be thinking about going for the SCV line, but now the Zerglings are coming in. Zerglings going to go for the SCV line, trying to do as much damage as they can, bringing the medevacs in to try and heal them. Medevacs healing SCVs, and they're calling a nice little corral there for these Marauders to work with. Nice micro from RedArchon, then pulls them back onto a Mineral Ghostwalk, as we are seeing these Mutalisks pulled back here, and even these Zerglings pull back. So that was a really good execution there by RedArchon, but he's just in bad shape. He has 38 food count right now compared to 77 of Adro, so he is so far behind. He had to pull his expansion back, morphing it into an orbital now to try and get some usage out of it, but his situation is just no good, and Adro needs to be aggressive and use the window this time, because last time he just sat back when he was ahead, took a bunch of bases, and then let RedArchon put planetary fortresses up and play himself back into the game. So he's got to be careful not to let that happen. Here we do see 2 bunkers coming up, looking like RedArchon wants to be defensive, likes that positioning. Lots of Banelings being morphed though, which is going to do nasty things to big nests of Marines, and if he can position it between the 2 bunkers, he will take them out at the same time. So this could be bad. Here we are seeing the Muta's going to pick up on this defensive position. There's some nice tasty medevacs he could take out right there, but lucky for RedArchon, he doesn't capitalize. Muta's just coming to the main base, trying to get anything that's not in range of missile turrets, bringing out SCVs, trying to repair, taking out that one add-on, and now we're seeing these SCVs coming to the front line, a little bit worried, pulling the Marines back to deal with these Mutalisks. There's a little bit of an open window where he could be taking out these bunkers, but no, we are seeing Adro once again being defensive, despite having all these